Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I've got news. Tesla stock is very volatile. Maybe you've noticed. It's not uncommon to see violent swings of 5 to 10% or even more within a single day. So in this video, I'm taking a look at why Tesla stock is so volatile and why I expect this to continue for years to come. But before we dive in, some words of caution. If you do not have a plan, if you do not have the temperament to hold a stock as it swings in value, if your emotions rule your decisions, if you will panic and worry and consider violating your own rules when things get rough, you should not own the stock. Period. If you can't get your emotions under control, it's better to sit on the sidelines than do something dumb. Really. With that out of the way, we're ready to roll. Perpetual disruption. Tesla is a perpetual disruption machine. No industry or technology is safe. They're rewriting the playbook at every level, from product design to manufacturing processes to corporate structure and CEO compensation. Along with this incessant upending of convention and an active disdain for the way things are done, comes many setbacks, failures, hurdles, surprises, and a lot of unwarranted attention and criticism. The speed and breadth of Tesla's disruption is truly remarkable, and it's not making them a lot of friends. It's a constant David versus Goliath battle. There are entrenched forces with very deep pockets who do not want Tesla to succeed. Inevitably, in most cases, this resistance is futile, but much of it can at least slow Tesla down. Not only is Tesla disrupting the automotive industry, but also dealer networks, the oil industry, the insurance industry, the energy generation and storage industries, and ultimately, the transportation industry. The more disruption Tesla causes, the more volatile their stock is likely to be over the medium term. Unrealized potential. Watching Tesla innovate and execute is incredibly exciting. Out of seemingly nowhere, they continue to find new opportunities. Who would have thought in 2008 that a decade later, Tesla would be focused on winning full self-driving and launching the world's largest robo-taxi fleet, or deploying grid-scale battery solutions, or creating virtual power plants, or developing innovative software like Sentry Mode, or basically cloning its most successful product into a slightly larger version, sharing 3/4 of its parts in common and progressing from prototype reveal to production within less than a year, or being able to charge a few $1,000s for over-the-air performance upgrades, or increasing range over the air. The point is, Tesla is innovating like mad. There's a lot of untapped potential in the future of Tesla. This too will contribute to the volatility of the stock. Analyst handovers. Today, most analysts covering Tesla stock are automotive analysts. This would be perfectly fine if Tesla was an automotive company. They're not. Yes, they do make vehicles, but software is a huge and growing part of their business. Software revenue is very high margin. The automotive business is very low margin, not to mention Tesla's solar and storage products. At the end of the day, Tesla makes batteries and software, and both of those go into most of their products. An automotive analyst covering Tesla is like a blind person analyzing a painting. Their ability to see the whole picture clearly is limited at best. Finally, Tesla stock is starting to make its way into the hands of tech analysts who can appreciate the growth, high-margin software component, over-the-air updates, and see Tesla more like Apple than Ford, a company with a strong software and hardware component with some very high-margin revenue streams on the horizon. As this happens, we'll see continued upgrades as these fresh eyes see potential that was previously overlooked. Another driver of strong volatility. Lots of moving parts. When you're growing as fast as Tesla, so many things can go right or wrong. Currently, Tesla is expanding capacity at Gigafactory Shanghai, building a new factory in Berlin, integrating technology from recent acquisitions, ramping the Model Y, finalizing the Cybertruck, rapidly deploying V3 of the solar glass roof, expanding its supercharging network, preparing the Plaid powertrain, beginning to ramp the Semi, scouting for new factory locations, deploying its new Megapack, and banking billions of cash as they do so. With so many moving parts, it's inevitable that things will break. The good news is that Tesla learns fast. The bad news is that the media and markets tend to overreact to both good and bad news. The more things that are going, the more things that can go right or wrong. This too will drive volatility. If a factory opens ahead of schedule, it's a huge win. If it's delayed, not so good. Future execution. Closely related to the last point is Tesla's future execution. Today, Tesla's stock price factors in some future success. If Tesla was not growing revenues at a staggering rate and was not poised to maintain a big slice of the burgeoning EV market, the stock price would not be where it's at. This is all good and well when Tesla are executing flawlessly, but any bumps in the road that cause people to question their future execution may negatively impact the stock price. Of course, my belief is that Tesla will do what they say. We have a 15+ year track record of this, but not everyone gives them the benefit of the doubt. One hiccup and they freak out. And of course, we also have stuff like full self-driving. Hardly anyone believes Tesla is on the cusp of solving full self-driving. Aside from the likes of ARK Invest, most of the analyst community thinks full self-driving is 10+ years away. As it becomes more obvious that autonomy will be solved in short order, expectations will be adjusted, and this is likely to impact the stock price enormously. Big bears. Of late, it seems most of the Tesla bears are in hibernation. Fair enough. If I'd been on television saying Tesla was a $100 stock in 2019, I'd be cautious about making another appearance so soon with the stock currently about 8 times that level. But some still cling to their convictions that Tesla is doomed. If they're given a big enough platform to talk smack and do it effectively, this too can knock the stock price around. In the short term. Big bulls. Likewise, an influential Tesla bull singing their praises to a wide enough audience can also move the stock. If the bull is actually allowed to talk, that is. A great example of this was a recent appearance from Ron Barron on CNBC. In pre-market trading before this segment, Tesla stock went on a tear, almost in anticipation of Ron's inevitably bullish comments on Tesla, like this.
Now what's happening, this is just catch-up. Now this year, Tesla is going to do somewhere around $32 billion of revenues, and I guess that they're going to do $100 billion of revenues within 4 years. And I think they have potential for $1 trillion of revenues within 10 years. So basically, you're looking at the very start of what's going to happen with Tesla. This could be one of the largest companies in the whole world.
$1 trillion in revenue in 10 years?
That's assuming you do 10 million cars. There's 90 million cars or 95 million cars that are sold, yes. And that's without the battery business. So I'm thinking that we're thinking $750 billion to $1 trillion of revenues just on the car business. Elon says that the battery business is going to be as big as the car business. In addition to that, when I'm thinking about 10 million cars a year, the last conversation he said it was 20 million cars is what he thinks he can do. And so what we're talking about is a business that right now, demand is overwhelming for the product that they're selling. And they're constrained as far as making as many cars as they could sell because they don't have enough batteries.
You're clearly still very bullish.
Yeah,
but it's moved 80%. It's moved 80% since the beginning of the year. Just in terms of discipline in maintaining a portfolio, do you lighten up on any of that position at all? Because you think, I still have a large position, even if I sell a little and book some gains. Or no, you're holding the whole thing.
Not a share.
Not a single share.
No. And in fact, one of the portfolio managers was speaking to me yesterday, and he said, Ron, shouldn't we sell a little bit? I said, I'm not selling anything. This is the very beginning of when Teslas get started.
So here's the question.
I'm hoping we get more assets so we can buy more stock.
That same day, Tesla's stock reached an all-time high before coming back to reality. FUD campaigns. I hate to break it to you, but Tesla has a lot of enemies. Traditional automakers pay the bills of most finance shows by advertising their vehicles during the breaks. Dealership networks are on borrowed time. Automotive supply chains are toast. Big oil is 100% completely and utterly f***ed as sustainable transport generation and storage become mainstream due to their lower cost and environmental impact. Their last resort is slinging shit, also known as spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It doesn't matter if it's based in reality. It just needs to tarnish Tesla's reputation and buy them a little more time. We see this often. If you pay attention to the press coverage on Tesla, it's incredible to see the negative bias. We've seen sketchy journalists fake events like running out of charge. World-class douchebags claim Elon Musk and Tesla are frauds. Industry experts blatantly lie for minutes straight on national television. Clueless hosts make outrageously incorrect statements and loads more. I won't bore you with the conspiracy theories here, but just know that a lot of interests want Tesla to fail, and at the very least, to slow their inevitable progress. Each time one of these clowns has some success in smearing Tesla, the stock price suffers. Temporarily. FOMO. I read all your comments, and I notice trends. One of them is this. For many of you, Tesla is your first or only investment. This rings true more broadly than my audience. It's true for many Tesla investors, period. Some are inspired by Tesla's mission. Others, its execution. Others are simply Elon fanboys. That's all good and well, but this also means that many of you have no idea what you're doing. You have no goal, no plan, no experience. Inexperience is a great recipe for herd mentality. Rather than knowing why you made a decision, you look to others to see their decisions and copy. If everyone's buying Tesla, then so are you. Lots of buying pressure can drive the stock price up. If everyone's selling Tesla, then so are you. Lots of selling pressure can drive the stock price down. If people, instead of thinking for themselves, are following the herd, this compounds the stock's volatility. A small sell-off can become a huge one. Big milestones. Given Tesla is so bent on widespread disruption, there will be countless key milestones and achievements that bode well for the stock price. The day Tesla solves full self-driving may be the single biggest step change in the stock price ever. Or maybe the market fails to appreciate this accomplishment entirely. Kind of like what happened in the wake of Autonomy Day. Maybe it's not until Tesla's first robo-taxis are operating that the market understands what has been achieved. Or maybe it's not until the first quarter reporting the high margin revenue from robo-taxis that people finally get it. The completion of new factories at record pace is another likely catalyst for the stock, as is the potential for future partnerships, such as the licensing of Tesla's battery and powertrain technology to other automakers, which, in my opinion, is inevitable, unless other automakers would prefer to go out of business. And then there's new product reveals. It may be a while until we see the next, possibly a compact car, but we need only look back to the Cybertruck reveal to see how unpredictable Tesla's stock price can be around product reveals. Quarterly results. It wouldn't be a Tesla video without talking about financials. It's been truly stunning to see how the market reacts to Tesla's quarterly results. For example, Q1 2019 was seasonally weak. This was not surprising. That's the auto industry. Yet most of Wall Street either ignored or were completely oblivious to this fact and others, sending the stock tumbling. This made literally no sense, but it happened. As a result, while people were panicking and selling the stock, and while online trolls were harassing me about my existing Tesla stock holdings, I was selling my other stocks and buying up big. Until Wall Street actually gets it, I expect that every quarter is a roll of the dice. Anything could happen after Tesla reports earnings. Trading around these results is fraught with danger. It's just too unpredictable, for now. So what's my point? Tesla stock is and will continue to be very volatile. Until everyone gets it, as they do now of Apple or Amazon, it seems likely that Tesla stock will remain very volatile. They're scaling fast, relentlessly innovating, endlessly disrupting, and making big enemies who don't fight fair. If you're investing for the long term, this is fine. Short-term volatility is irrelevant. You buy the stock, you stick to your plan, and everyone's happy. But if you have no plan, or you're driven by emotions, not reason, you're asking for trouble. If you can't handle the heat, it's best not to be in the kitchen. I'm not joking around here, guys. If you don't have a plan and the ability to stick to it, a train wreck may be just around the corner. If you're a short-term trader, good for you. I hope the volatility serves you. For everyone else, for those who believe in the company and its ability to execute, for those who plan to hold Tesla stock for the long term, just know that while the destination may be the moon, you're in for a bumpy ride. Have a plan and stick to it, or stay the f*** away from Tesla stock. Remember, anything could happen tomorrow. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Tesla stock will remain volatile? Can you handle the volatility? Do you have a plan, and will you stick to it? Or are your emotions in charge? And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. PS, if you're still watching, you're awesome. This channel has kind of blown up since it launched, and I'm working on making the best possible content for you guys, but it takes time. Consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can continue creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. Either way, the best kind of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.
You know, is that actually happened? Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how just
oh my god
dark we've become.
Oh my god.
A lot of weird forces at odds with each other.
Why am I
in
doing for
society
golf and not
right
working?
now.
LOL.